Hi, hello. So I just wanted to start off this video by saying off camera I'd already painted the background this grey blue colour, and I'd already uh, drawn out this young lady. And a couple of disclaimers. One, I've never art journaled before in my life. And two, about halfway into the video, about 11 minutes or so, the video cut off, and that is because I was recording this late at night and I didn't realise that my phone had died halfway through recording. So I got in a strop and I went to bed, and I woke up the next day and finished it. So the last little bit of the video is me just finishing it off. I have left some photos at the end of the video to show you a bit more in detail as to what I was doing. But the first thing I'm doing is using a acrylic paint pen to colour in her hair. And I went with this brown colour, but because of the light greyish blue colour in the background, it kind of made the brown a bit more orange. I didn't actually mind that. I did struggle a lot with this pen. It was a cheap lot off of Amazon that I got a couple of months ago, and this is the first time I've used them. And I did really enjoy using them. The rest of the colours I didn't really have much problem with, but this brown one, I don't know whether it was because I was using it a lot to do the hair, or whether it was just one of them ones that like to struggle. But the first thing I'm doing is literally just colouring in her hair, and then I think I then go for the roses. I'm not 100% sure what I was doing. I just wanted to sit there and play, and I didn't want to get the paints out because that was too messy for me at 8 o'clock at night. So I decided that I'd just use the acrylic markers to do the entire process, and I really enjoyed using them. I definitely wish I could afford to invest in some better quality ones, but these, like I said, did the job, and they were really nice to use, apart from this brown one that was giving me trouble. um, I will hopefully move on soon. I don't think I've got much more to do. But yeah, like I said, this is the first time I've ever art journaled before. I've never done anything like this before. It was nice to be able to just doodle and colour in. There's just something a bit therapeutic about colouring in, and that's all I fancied really doing, but I didn't want to get a colouring book. I just wanted to play in in an art journal. I have done mixed media projects before, but I usually work on packaging that I've altered, or started off by gessoing and then adding other things to it, whether it's paint um, or tissue paper or stamping or whatever I end up doing. This green one was really liquidy, but the other thing I liked about these acrylic markers is the fact that they didn't take 2 seconds to dry, whereas if I'd have used paint, I'd have had to sat there and constantly use the heat tool that I've got to dry them off, which wouldn't have been no fun, especially at 8, 9 o'clock at night. I think by the time I finished this, by the time I had my paddy and then went to bed, it was 10 o'clock at night, which was late. For me, it definitely was late. I'm now going in with, so I went in with the leaves on with a limey green coloured pen, and now I'm going in with more of an emerald green colour pen just to make the definitions of the fact that they're leaves. I then go in, I think, with a pink pen, like it was a neon pink, and I go and do all the flowers, and I do the detail work on the girl's face with the same colour. So that's me doing that at the minute. I thought I'd sped this up too much, but I'm now beginning to think I didn't speed it up enough. So I'm now just doing her lips, her nose, and then I'm going in and doing all the shadowy type features that I'd put on her face. I can't draw. I used to when I was younger, but when it comes to people, I am not very good at drawing. So what I did with this lady was I got a like a cheap stencil that you can use, and what I did was I traced through the stencil so that I was able to draw this girl out. I'm now going in with a lighter pink over the darker pink, just making squiggly lines, just so it's not so neon pink in your face coloured. I think the next thing I do is find the black pen, and I can't remember if I do her eyes or her hair. No, yeah, I'm going in with her hair. So I tried using a Faber-Castell extra fine, because that's the only one I've got left out of my packet, fine tip nibbed pen, and then realised that that was too thin. Then I went in with a paint pen and realised that that was too thick and wanted something else, and then realised that none of my other black pens really worked. So I just carried on with the black paint pen. At the time, I didn't like it, but by the end results, I actually kind of do. I didn't like the fact that I was losing definition on her hair, on the smaller parts, but I actually ended up really liking how this turned out. And I have this strange thing about outlining, especially with black pen. So I'll be doing that for a few minutes. I will also use the same black paint pen to do the eyes and around the flowers as well. Nearly done. If you can see the lights dimming and flickering, it's because I had my large, what is it, studio light type thing on, but where my craft room is, it's at the front, and I don't ever shut the curtains, and I sit in front of the window, so every time cars pull up at the junction, it just flicks their lights into my house. So that's what you see every time the lights flicker. It's just someone's coming out of the junction over the road. So I'm currently just outlining all the leaves and the flowers. Oh, and I've done her eyes. Missed that bit. So I hope you're all doing well, and that everyone's okay your end, and that you're all having a good day. Right, this is a fail. Mega fail. I've learnt my lesson. I think next time if I do this trick, I am going to use a little bit of gesso or something to try and thicken it up. I started off by using a bit of card, then realised I wasn't getting enough of the paint pen on my sponge, and then so I was like, well, I've got my glass mat, I'll use my glass mat, that'll get me enough paint on my pen, out of my pen onto the mat. And then I'd moved it a couple of times without realising that I'd had, and it smudged them all. I was like, oh great. So I was just going in now and redefining some of the stars that were smudgy. And I was like, oh no, I'll just use the pen through the stencil. That doesn't work. And then I was like, oh, I'll just freehand them. And then in a minute, we're going to go to the other page. Some of them stars are really, really dodgy, especially this one. Not half as dodgy as some of the ones on the next page, but yeah, I'll turn my book upside down and I'll try it again. Excuse me. It does work, just not very well. I think I either had too much paint on the sponge or not enough paint on the sponge. But like I said, I think next time I do it, I might add a little bit of gesso with it. It might work out a lot better. So now I've got to go in and redefine some of the stars, because a lot of the smaller ones just look like little blobs. And then if you'll notice down the side where my hand currently now is doing, I don't really know what happened there, but there ended up being two massive blobs, neither of which look like stars. I don't know how it ended up like that, but I just coloured them in anyway. And then I think in a minute I'm going to go in and free for all some stars. So we're now coming up to the minute where you'll see that I swap over, and that's because my camera had died and I hadn't realised. So what I did, when the camera died, what I did between that and the next clip is I'd outlined all the stars, added some more stars in, and then just done little bits of like doodly work with crosses and pink and white dots to make them look a little bit like splatters. And I did that on both sides of the pages, and now I am currently, it's the next day, got someone talking to me, so I keep writing the wrong word, and then I'm just going in with a pencil and writing my quote out, which was from the willow tree in Pocahontas, because she was giving me some Pocahontas vibes, and I thought that was a good quote. So I'm just going in with a black pen and making sure that you can read it, and my dyslexic brain had to do it in pencil beforehand, otherwise I'd have kept on writing if instead of in, and then it wouldn't have made any sense to anyone, and I don't know how I'd have covered that up and been able to redo it. So I'm just going to go over it again, and that's nearly the end of the video. So like I said, I hope you're all having a good day, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm sorry I lost some of the footage, but you know, I'm still new at this and I am still learning, and one of the things I've got to learn is the fact that my phone needs to be charged or charging while I'm doing things like this. I'll say I will speak to you all again soon, and I will say goodbye. So bye.